I always do that. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I gotta supply that fire. I supply that fire. What is going on, you beautiful bookworms, and welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump. I'm your host, Bump, Sean Patrick Cote, a National Academy Sports Medicine certified personal trainer, a Connecticut Department of Labor certified journeyman, a absolute dog in the field of all things doggable. I'm a 7-year sober recovering addict, California sober, don't mind me. What else? I mean, I'm just a guy with a lot of experience in life and a lot of wisdom. And what we do here on Bookmarks with Bump is go over a plethora of topics from fitness to mental health to addiction to just dogging it out in this dog eat dog world. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, May the 3rd, when I'm recording this podcast, and I'm currently waiting out a thunderstorm before I can go out and hit my last long run of this training schedule. And here's what I want to shed some light on in this moment. I have reached the point of exhaustion, and that's going to happen to anybody who's training for something. You're going to reach a point about 3 weeks out from your event where you are absolutely exhausted, and you are going through a grueling process in the process of making yourself just a little bit better, one race, one step, one stride at a time. And that's where I'm at right now before this 12-mile run. I have a 12-mile run to do today. And quite frankly, I don't want to, but I have to. And I know that I have to, and I need to, and that need and that have and that want to be better, that's what's going to propel me through today's workout, which, I'm not hitting the weights. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just going out to run 12 miles. And I'll find a nice section of the Farmington Canal Trail where I will devastate this mileage and make it mine. And then I will come home and take a shower, and maybe I'll fall asleep in the shower. I'm not really that sure how I plan to do this, but luckily for me, this rain has cooled things down a bit. It was about 10 degrees warmer 45 minutes ago. But where we are is we have entered that area of the year where spring has officially skipped over and sprung right into summer. It is hot, hot, hot. I just installed my air conditioning unit when I got back to my apartment today. I bought an air conditioner on Thursday. Okay, so I went to my favorite store. It always reminds me of her, BJ's, and I got an air conditioning a box unit. I have cascading windows in my apartment. None of my windows open vertically. They all open horizontally. So I said, this will be interesting for when summer comes, but there's a nice little box in the middle of my living room that I could fit an AC into and run cool air through the apartment. The only issue with that was that I measured out the box. I got the dimensions. I go to the store with my dimensions. I come back home with my air conditioner, and just didn't fit. The dimensions didn't dimension enough. So the dimensions on the box of the air conditioner were true to size. However, there is a little bracket that comes out, which I'm assuming is for in a vertically opened window. You pull it to the sill to seal that. Well, I don't have a sill. I just have a box, and this odd shaped unit didn't fit in my tight little box. So I had to bring it back to the stove. And when I was putting it back in the box, I sliced my hand open with the metal on the back of the AC. So whoever ends up buying that AC unit is blessed with my plasma. Please don't clone me. But they're going to get a nice unit out of it. The lady at the customer service desk asked me more than once what was wrong with it, and I thought that was kind of confrontational. I didn't really like the attitude of the lady in there, if we're being quite frank with one another. And then the other customer service ladies. What is it with customer service representatives where they just like completely disrespect people on a daily basis? They treat them a bit subhuman while they're here working an entry level job. I don't really get where they get the gall or audacity to act the way they do, but they were calling upon another employee, one of the porters in the store, to help out with something. And she was asking if the guy's on the floor. And he's like, yeah, I'm on the floor. I can hear this through the walkie talkie. I'm on the floor. I'm about to take my break. She goes, please come here before you do. I need your help with something. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I noticed that I heard the guy on the walkie talkie in real life before I heard him come through the walkie talkie. So he was somewhere near me. And this lady, she takes the two finger, she gives him the come hither with the two fingers. And never once did I hear a nicety exchanged throughout her request to summon this man. So as he walks by me, I say, hey, thank you. And I got shot the dirtiest look by this Rosie O'Donnell-esque woman that I might have ever seen in my life. And you know what? I soaked in that glory. I felt like I made my point. And I've always been a guy who's going to die on his sword. If I'm making a point, I'm going to stick to that point. And that's definitely one of my biggest faults. But I don't care. I'll always stand up for righteousness any moment that I have to. It's something that's gotten me fired from a job before. I worked at a gym when I became a personal trainer. The manager working the desk at the gym was being an asshole to the kids working behind the desk. And now these kids are kids. They're 16, 17 years old. They're still in high school. This is a job for them. It's not a career. It's not anything that they're taking too serious. It's just some extra money so they could take their girlfriend to the movies or whatever they want to do with it. Invest for their future, no matter what they're doing with their money. They're just making, a couple $100 a week. Nothing big, nothing major. They don't need to be screamed at. And I told the manager that, and he didn't really like that much, and told me that I never need to disrespect him in front of his employees again. And he asked me to promise him. And I told him the only promise I could make was that I would stand up for people whenever I had the opportunity to. And that got me fired from that job. And in the long run, it was a good thing for me. The only personal training I do now is private, which is the way I think it should be. I don't necessarily love the way big box gyms do things when it comes to personal training. I think they not only do they rip off the personal trainers, but they oftentimes rip off the clients with the price point, and they take advantage of their vulnerabilities and make promises that, honestly, when it comes to personal training, a personal trainer can't even keep a promise. It's all on the trainee. It's all on the customer. When it comes to making your physical fitness a priority, I can't set your priorities for you. I can only guide you and lead you in the right direction, but I can't make those decisions for you when I'm not there. I struggle with the same thing a lot. Like, I wish I had somebody who could watch over me, especially in the nighttime, and stop me from eating peanut butter and jelly burritos. But I don't have that. I have to hold myself accountable. And I have to, when I wake up, just chug water until my tummy hurts instead of get up, go to the kitchen, and make myself a nice, beautiful peanut butter jelly burrito. I mean, if you've never had one, I think it's the greatest thing that the Hispanic culture has ever done for us. I'm not sure if they invented the peanut butter jelly burrito or if they just invented the burrito and I put my own peanut butter and jelly twist on it. Nonetheless, wherever the idea came from, it's been brilliant. And sometimes I throw a banana in there. I need to get to something before I just ramble on for the next half hour. But nonetheless, I didn't like the way things worked in that gym, and I'm in a much better place career-wise now. And now when I do have a chance to help somebody with their physical fitness, it's because they came to me on their own accord, and they're earnestly seeking help. And that's something that I enjoy, and that's something that I look forward to, and that's something that I'll do every day until the day I die. That's my purpose, is to help with the things that I know knowledge on. the things that I have knowledge on, and I'll continue to do that moving forward. Moving forward in the podcast here, we have a grand debate that's been taking place. A debate on who would win in a battle between 100 men and a gorilla. Pause for dramatic effect. And I think there are different instances where each scenario could play out. I see so many people saying, no way 100 men will win. I see a scenario where people are saying that gorilla's dead. I think it all depends. The situations are very situational. And to me, I think if it's a structured match, say you put 100 men in a cage against a gorilla, the 100 men, I don't know how many will last, but I definitely know that they will strategize a way to attack and break down this gorilla bit by bit until it's done, until the gorilla is done. Trying to keep it as I don't want to be too graphic or gory when it comes to this conversation, but I also believe that if this were a random instance out in the wild where there just happened to be a pack of 100 men moving in the direction of a gorilla who pops out and says, "Hey, let's fight, guys," I think that you're going to lose about 75% of your base. I think that a lot of people will decide to run if they weren't signed up for this type of deal. And ultimately, the gorilla would take those 25 people, rip them limb from limb, and beat them with their own limbs, and then have a hell of a lot of meat to eat for the foreseeable future. Whether or not that's true, who knows? It also depends on exactly who that is. But as I was scrolling one day on the toilet at work, I found a list of who I think honestly could really pull this whole deal off. Hovey34 put out a list of the 100 men that he decided would, in fact, destroy that gorilla. We're going to go through that real quick, and we're going to start with number 1, John Jones. This is 1 through 25 here. You have John Jones, Aaron Donald, Alex Pereira. He'd be in charge of the walkout. Ray Lewis would be the captain in the pregame speech. I mean, if you get these 100 men fired up by a Ray Lewis speech, they'll run through a brick wall. Chris Hemsworth, Sylvester Stallone, David Goggins would give the halftime speech. You throw The Rock in there as well as Deontay Wilder. His dad, also my dad, when he was mad at me for handing him the wrong screwdriver. Now, that is the fury that it takes to defeat said gorilla. You have Steve Vernella, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, The Undertaker, who would be the last guy to enter. John Morant, he's in charge of the celebration after the W. Prime 50 Cent. This one really gets me because it made me think of somebody right away. A random psycho high school D coordinator / history teacher, and the only thing I could think of was Jamie Burns. He was a football coach of ours in high school, and I mean, this guy's eyes were so wide open, you could see into his brain. You could actually see the gears turning when he's thinking of what he's going to yell, when he's going to yell it, and who he's going to yell it at. So throw Coach Burns in there, as well as Reuben Foster, Nikola Jokic's brother, Habib Nurmagomedov, Turtle Man, whoever the hell that is, Tom Hardy. We're going to use Kris Jenner as bait, Jason Momoa, and Zion Williamson. The list continues with Jalen Carter. I mean, you take Aaron Donald, Jalen Carter, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry and just run them at the gorilla over and over. It's going to cause some serious damage. Think about the sandwich. If you do a Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley on one side, Jalen Carter, and Zion Williamson on the other, I mean, you could quite possibly squeeze the blood out of that gorilla like a tube of toothpaste. Then you have Cameron Haynes. He could just throw bows, shoot his bows, shoot his arrows. I don't even know how a bow and arrow works, dude. But nonetheless, Will Compton, his half of bussin' is put in his name if he dies. Taylor Lewan will also be there. Same conditions as Will. Trent Williams. Those long arms would just be blocking the gorilla into a spot where Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Carter could just run it over. My elementary school bully, use him as bait. Brian Shaw, the world-famous power lifter. Brock Lesnar on roids. I don't know if he's ever been off roids, but Brock Lesnar is somebody who I always thought would be able to beat a gorilla single-handedly. John Cena, Steven Adams, Ben Wallace, Ron Artest, Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict. There's a lot of CTE there. A prime Lawrence Taylor, which also means that he's coked up, so that's a lot of energy coming at this gorilla. Any winner from the TV show alone, never watched it, don't know what it's about, but I'm sure it's about survival, and they could definitely survive this. Gerard Beeman. Then you have Brian Dawkins. He's the first one off the bus for the intimidation walkout. And if you don't know what that's all about, look it up. Look up Brian Dawkins off the bus. The Eagles would send Brian Dawkins off the bus first for every single visiting game. And I mean, this guy just gets off the bus ready for war. So this gorilla is screwed. DJ Swearinger, Brian Urlacher, Shaq, Big Show, Jared from Subway as bait. Good. Alexander Ovechkin. The man who just took over Wayne Gretzky's goal record, all-time goals, over 895 goals scored in his career. 39 years old, drinks Coca-Cola on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about somebody who just gets it done no matter what. That's a dog. Then you have Nick Chubb on leg day at number 50. The list continues with the dishwasher from the steakhouse I used to work at. Guy was an animal. Everybody has one of those. In one instance, I was one of those guys. Alexander Volkanovsky, Tyson Fury, already died and came back. Terrence Howard, required podcast after. Cat Williams would do play-by-play commentating, as well as Snoop Dogg, who would be the color commentator. So we have 6 or 7 people throughout this list who have no business in fighting the gorilla. They're just there for moral support. Just like Kevin Hart, who's going to be the field reporter. Tony Baker, who does the voiceover for the post-production. Shane Gillis is there for comedic relief. And then we'll bring it back. Tyler Booker, the recently drafted Dallas Cowboy, who we talked about last week, who had one of the most dog-like quotes of any man of all time, talking about his love for football comes from taking the love. I just got distracted by the rain pouring down yet again. I mean, by the time I finish this 12-mile run, it's going to be time for me to go to work tomorrow. Tyler Booker, Lenora Sellers, Dylan Stewart, J.D. Pickle, Lane Johnson, the Lane Train, Myles Garrett, Penei Sewell, Max Crosby, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Andre Johnson, when he brings that fighting Cortland Finnegan energy. Cam Newton, Duke Dennis, Dexter Lawrence. We have a lot of football players on this list. And it continues. Chris Jones, pregame tears before the war. There's a classic clip of Chris Jones listening to the national anthem before a Super Bowl where there's just a tear falling down his cheek. Much like No Sean Marino. Jadeveon Clowney, he had the hit versus Michigan. Bring that hit to the gorilla. See his head pop off. James Harrison, Vita Vea, Terry Tate, Francis Ngannou, Vince Wilfork, TJ Watt, Jameis Winston. He's the head of morale. He's going to give great speeches throughout. Brian Cushing, I mean, another animal. This guy beat his own head in with his helmet. Ndamukong Suh, David from David versus Goliath. Justin Ernest, he did 51 reps of 225 at the NFL Combine. That's a lot of pushing power. Put the gorilla in a position to get beat and get beat good. Tom Aspinall, that's another name that I thought of. Ken Griffey Jr. would be the photographer. If you get Conor McGregor fresh off Roadhouse when he was all coked and roided up, he could probably bring a lot of energy. Kim Jong-un, we'll use him as bait. Please don't read this, sir. That's a great notation to add here. Vladimir Putin as bait. Please don't read this, sir. These are great disclaimers to give out when you're throwing dictators on the list. Micah Parsons, Aziz Al-Shair. I mean, if Aziz hits the gorilla the same way he hit Trevor Lawrence this season, it might be wraps. Clemson's mascot could be used as bait. Girl from my high school who won a fight at the pep rally in front of everyone. Everybody has one of those ratchets. Gregor Clegane, the mountain from Game of Thrones. I'd like to just see the gorilla versus the mountain. Then you have more bait. P. Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly. Throw them all out there first as bait to distract the gorilla. And then myself. And I would put myself here as well. The notation for myself was won't do anything, but can claim I was on the team that got the W. Oh, there was a last minute roster change. Duke Dennis is to be replaced by a night shift Waffle House employee. And I mean, if you can get through the night shift at Waffle House, you can get through a gorilla. I think if you curate a team like this, you have a great chance at beating a gorilla. I think if you curate a team of 100 random men, you also have a great chance if you all go in with a strategy. It's all about having a strategy, and it's all about knowing what you're buying into. You have to buy into it. I mean, us as humans, we're so adaptable, and we have so many systems set up inside of our central nervous system that sets the capability for us to be able to do whatever we have to do and get through whatever we have to get through. If it's something that we're putting our minds to, our body will adapt. And I think if we all go in knowing if we don't beat this gorilla, the Planet of the Apes happens, the humans will die out. There needs to be there needs to be a reason, and there needs to be a reason for us to all buy in. 100 men can do anything if they team up and work together, just like you can do anything that you set your mind to. Oh, what a dream that would be. And the next thread that we're going to get into is about sleep apnea. Joey Yokem put out a thread, and it said sleep apnea is silently destroying your health. Millions suffer from it and don't even know it. Here's what it is, why it happens, how to fix it before it wrecks your life. Now, sleep apnea is something where you wake up constantly throughout the night, and you don't even realize that you're waking up, but you're waking up because you're starving yourself of oxygen, and you wake up to save your own life. This happens all the time. People in my family were affected by it, and we're going to get into the thread. It goes on to say, what is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is a condition where your breathing repeatedly stops during sleep. This causes oxygen drops, interrupted sleep, and hormone disruption. And it massively increases risks of disease because by not sleeping, you're killing your immune system. The most common symptoms is if you wake up feeling worse than when you went to bed, you might have sleep apnea. Symptoms include dry mouth in the morning, daytime fatigue, loud snoring, headaches, and brain fog. Why it happens? The most common causes of sleep apnea are mouth breathing, poor sleep posture, alcohol or sedatives before bed, and excess weight. Fat around the neck blocks airways. If you fix these, you fix your sleep. Why it's dangerous. Sleep apnea doesn't just make you tired, it increases the risk of stroke, depression, Alzheimer's, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, or high blood pressure. And yes, it even kills brain cells. But there are ways to fix it naturally. And here are a few things that can help reverse sleep apnea. Lose weight. Elevate the head of your bed. Sleep on your side and not your back. Avoid alcohol and sedatives before bed. You could also use mouth tape to promote nasal breathing. You could consider a sleep study. If these symptoms persist, ask your doctor about a sleep study. This can diagnose apnea and determine if you need a CPAP or other treatment. Ignoring it will only make it worse. Most sleep issues start with snoring, trouble sleeping, and waking up exhausted. But for most people, it starts with excess body fat. Fat around the neck and poor sleep posture equals blocked airways, which equals apnea. It's really that simple. You need to lose the weight. Here's the hard truth. Most sleep apnea cases are caused by being overweight, and the fix is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. You eat fewer calories, you walk 8 to 12K steps daily, you lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. Lose the fat, and your sleep will automatically improve. The bottom line is, sleep apnea is serious, but for most people, it's fixable. Have you ever dealt with sleep apnea? If so, how did you get rid of it? Let me know below. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you have sleep apnea or anybody that you know has sleep apnea and how they fixed it. I have a few people in my family who ended up getting CPAP machines. Um, Me, I don't necessarily. I don't have sleep apnea. I do wake up tired often, but that's also because I don't sleep well at night. I wake up multiple times in the middle of the night, but these aren't like jarring, gasping to breathe wake ups. These are I have to pee or or I'm dehydrated and tricking myself into thinking I'm hungry. A lot of the activity that I do on day-to-day basis leaves me a little bit exhausted, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, just being exhausted, being this far into a training schedule. The taper begins after this week, and I'm excited. I'm excited for a multitude of reasons. One being that I have the chance to compete. The other being that this training schedule is coming to an end, and I will get results. And I will figure out what my next move is moving forward. There's a lot to be excited about right now for me. May 18th is approaching quickly, and when that day comes, I will be ready. I will be prepared, and that's because of all of the hard work that I'm putting in right now, which makes the exhaustion, which makes the fatigue ultimately worth it. As long as I'm not in pain or injured, who cares how I feel in the moment? It's about what I'm working towards. It's about your goal. You're going to have to put some of your day to day comfortability aside when you're working towards goals. And that's just the truth of the matter. Not everybody loves to hear that. Not everybody wants to hear that. But me being me, uh, being a dog, it's all about the main thing. What's the main goal? If you set a goal, you're going to do whatever it takes to achieve it, and that's what I'm working towards right now. That's what we could all work towards. A lot of that is it's just it's hard. It's hard to do it, and it's hard to do it because it's hard to do it without looking for a shortcut. Everybody's always looking for a shortcut. We have so many shortcuts that are tempting and available to us, but in reality, I didn't reach my goals until I practice consistency and balance. That's what helped me get to where I am right now ultimately, was just putting in the hard work and doing things the right way. And that's what this next thread is about. Doing things the right way. Because we have cheat codes out there that are killing us. And a couple of them come up right here in this thread by Simo. The most dangerous drug in the world, Ozempic. It's not a cure. It's a slow motion disaster, and Big Pharma knows it. Here are 7 hidden horrors they're praying you never discover. Number 1 is that it shrinks your heart muscle. It's well known Ozempic causes severe muscle loss, but in animal studies, it now looks like the miracle drug also causes heart muscle to shrink. Screw that. 2, nausea that ruins your appetite and your life. Ozempic slows down stomach emptying so hard, your food just sits there. The result is constant nausea and zero interest in eating. They call it manageable. But I've seen men lose their appetite, libido, and energy along the way. Number 3 could be vision loss, one of the most terrifying side effects. Thousands of men have reported sudden, unexplained vision issues after taking Ozempic. But you won't hear about that in the commercials. Imagine losing your sight just to drop a few pounds. Screw that. Number 4 would be vomiting. It's violent and persistent. Up to 4% of patients quit the drug because of nonstop vomiting. I mean, you might as well just become a bulimic or anorexic if you're going to take a drug like this to lose weight. Up to 4% of patients quit because of nonstop vomiting, and we're not talking queasiness, we're talking full body rejection. This is the trade-off that they don't advertise. Diarrhea that depletes your nutrients. Loose stools are common and prolonged. What starts as mild GI distress becomes chronic electrolyte loss and gut inflammation. Long term, you're not absorbing what you eat, and that's what happens when you throw up or you have diarrhea. It's a rejection of everything in your body. 6 is pancreatitis, the silent killer. Ozempic has been linked to acute pancreatitis, sometimes fatal. If you feel sharp pain in your upper abdomen shooting to your back, you need immediate medical care. They won't tell you that in the ad with dancing vegetables. Number 7, gastroparesis, stomach paralysis, literal paralysis of the gut. bloating, nausea, and vomiting that doesn't go away because your stomach won't empty. Some lawsuits say they were never even warned. Bowel obstruction, a fatal complication known as ileus. It stops your digestive system cold. No gas, no bowel movements, severe pain. 150 plus cases reported to the FDA, and at least one was fatal. The risk is real and rising. And here's what they won't put on the label. It's Ozempic face. Rapid fat loss that ages you 10 years overnight. Breast changes in women, aka Ozempic boobs. Thyroid tumor warnings from rat studies. Muscle loss from caloric suppression. And the metabolic damage from relying on an external GLP-1 forever. So what's the alternative? A real fix, not a temporary patch. And then that's kind of what I'm getting at here with no easy fix. This guy's going to go on and ask you to become one of his clients, but in reality, you could just become one of mine. I mean, we're talking about the same thing here. But the Ozempic, when it first came out, I thought of it as another way to, leech upon people's vulnerabilities. I don't have much trust in the medical care system. I don't have much trust in the pharmaceutical system. I think that a lot of things are just placebos. I also think that a lot of things they're cure-alls that don't really cure all. They just add all. These are just add-ons for the pharmaceutical companies to keep people sick. RFK says it's the sick care system and not the health care system. And this is one thing that kind of opens your eyes to that. We're talking about a huge marketing deal where basically, remember the jingle? Ozempic? Yeah. I mean, I never liked the idea of Ozempic. I never liked the idea of fat burners or anything like that. Because it's all attainable through hard work and dedication. And that's what it really takes to change yourself. In any facet of your life, what you really need to do is practice hard work and dedication, and you'll get to whatever goal you want to get to. You'll achieve anything that you want to achieve if you just sacrifice a little bit. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to sacrifice your lifestyle, sacrifice the foods you love, sacrifice the foods you crave. But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. 6 months to a year of teaching yourself how to suffer a little bit. It's much, much better than suffering for the rest of your life. And that's what you sign up for if you think a cheat code or a fad diet or whatever is going to be the solution to your problems. The solution to your problems is changing your lifestyle. Your lifestyle needs to change. Your lifestyle is what puts you in these situations that you end up in, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's food addiction, whether it's laziness. Your lifestyle is what needs to change ultimately. You can't just introduce something into your life and think that it's going to fix everything. The only way to fix everything is to fix everything. And I wholeheartedly believe in that because that's something that I did. I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm saying it because it's true. And that's the only reason I ever say anything. As always, I do suggest you follow along with the links in the description. These threads are fun to go through, and they're even more fun if you go along with me. I'm still offering my personal training services. You can get at me on Instagram at TCGXBump, on Snapchat where the numbers are through the roof, Shondus. As always, like, subscribe, engage with these posts, and it's all love. God bless. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider.
Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.